Roboquest is a roguelite first-person shooter that was developed by Rise Up Studios. I will start right off by saying that this game is a roguelite FPS masterpiece, with an art style and weapon variety that is reminiscent of Borderlands. And if that's all you needed to know, just go and buy this game right now. But anyway, the game kicks off with a young girl traveling across a post-apocalyptic landscape. And even though this game is post-apocalyptic, it is very bright, colorful, and cartoony. Before eventually stumbling upon a Guardian, a robot that was meant to help bring humanity to safety after most of robot kind turned against their creators. Terminator style, basically. She quickly reboots this Guardian, and the robot instantly resumes his quest per his programming. What follows is a journey through a wide variety of environments, blasting through hordes of hostile bots until we come face to face with the source of the problem, a powerful AI known as Iris. And the environmental variety here truly is impressive. There is the desert canyon, the oasis, the ruined city, the quarry, the steel confines of the energy center, a beautiful sprawling metropolis, and even the moon. There is so much to see in this game, and it is all spectacularly represented by a gorgeous cel-shaded art style. Plus, the art direction doesn't stop with the environments, as Roboquest has over 70 weapons to play with, and they all look really cool and unique. Some weapons are certainly better than others, but it is very enjoyable to play around with as many of them as possible, until you figure out which ones are your favorites. My favorite weapon by far would probably have to be the Razor Launcher, as this thing is great at clearing rooms and absolutely destroying bosses, as its rapid fire rate combines with damage that stacks to deliver a wildly powerful tool of destruction. But beyond that, there are so many other guns, bows, blades, and melee options. There are multiple varieties of pistols, rifles, snipers, shotguns, rocket launchers, mortar launchers, grenade launchers, and so on and so forth. In most of my videos, I would talk about each weapon that is in the arsenal, as typically boomer shooters have around 9 weapons. And like I said, this game has over 70, so I can't really go on to describe each and every one of them. Then, to add even more variety to the already vast arsenal just at a base level, several of these weapons come with their own attributes, kind of like what you would see in an RPG. Some of the best weapons, I would argue, are the ones that deal elemental damage, especially if they have a high fire rate. While all of the weapons are fun to use, these are most likely the ones that will lead you to victory. And on top of that, it should be noted that most weapons either have a limited magazine, or in the case of energy weapons, can overheat. However, this just makes the gameplay more balanced because ammo is infinite, so you never have to worry about getting ammo pickups. The game is difficult enough just due to the smart enemy variety and sometimes just the sheer numbers of enemies in combat encounters. Over the course of a run, you will gain experience points, and every time you level up, you get a health boost and access to upgrades to your character stats and/or abilities. You can also find new weapons either from enemy drops or at checkpoints, where they can either be purchased with power cells or grabbed from randomized loot crates. Similarly, Character and weapon upgrades can also be purchased at these checkpoints, but they can also be discovered at the end of purple challenge rooms that typically involve platforming sections. Once you fail a run, you do lose these upgrades. However, you can also gather wrenches from enemy drops or data logs, and these act as the currency for permanent upgrades at your base camp. These permanent upgrades are vast, and they do include basic things like health boosts, but they also include more perk options after leveling up, more friendly robots to purchase upgrades from, or a higher likelihood that better weapons will spawn at loot crates, and that's just to give a few examples. This makes it so that even if you continuously fail your runs, you still are progressing by unlocking improvements that make each run just a little bit easier. Besides that, you can also unlock different classes at the base camp, and each one of these combat classes come with their own primary, secondary, and passive abilities, as well as class-locked perks. I admittedly have only spent time as the default class and the Recon class, with the default class, known simply as Guardian, having a temporary force field that deflects projectiles, and Recon having a blink ability. Both of these abilities draw energy from a battery that recharges over time, and yes, there are upgrades specific to the battery as well. I found the Guardian's force field, known as Bastion, to be very useful, especially when I found perks that would increase fire rate, damage, and movement speed while Bastion is active. So with all of these combat classes, it really gives even more replayability to this game. And as do the different difficulty levels, with some difficulty levels even being unlocked after you successfully complete a run. So there is so much reason to come back to this game and just replay it over and over and over again. But that's not all, folks, because there are several secret items to be found in Roboquest as well that can make you into an unstoppable force of nature. For instance, you can find a jetpack and a grappling hook that greatly enhance your movement capabilities, but on top of that, there are these things called power crystals you can find that give you additional permanent upgrades. Most importantly, however, these can be activated to make the final level on the moon and the final boss fight much easier. I would highly recommend that you seek this out for this reason, and you can find these at the end of time trials or boss fights that exist within secret levels that are unlocked with keys that are also hidden in secret areas. So yeah, there is a lot to the process of acquiring these crystals, but it is so worth it. I would recommend watching the guide from the YouTuber Haterax if you need help with finding these. He has done a lot of videos on Roboquest. So in conclusion, I'm just going to say just play this game. Roboquest is awesome. Another absolute banger from 2023 amidst so many other great indie first-person shooters. Oh yeah, and there's also co-op in this game, so that's pretty cool too. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe, and dislike it if you absolutely hated it. As always, enjoy the rest of your day.